Bird helps monkey break abscess. Minutes later, something terrible happens. The forest was hushed beneath the pale morning light. Mist drifted low across the river, curling around stones and roots like soft smoke. On a smooth boulder near the water sat a dusky langur, motionless except for the faint rise and fall of his chest. His shoulder bulged oddly, a swollen mound beneath thin fur, angry and red at the edges. The others had already moved deeper into the trees, leaving him behind. His name was never spoken, but the watchers from the nearby village had started calling him Ramu, the quiet one who used to leap between branches with an easy grace. Now he sat still, head bowed, his fur clinging damp to his thin frame. A single fly circled the wound. Ramu didn't swat it away. Then came a flutter. A minna bird, dark feathers glossed with morning dew, landed near his feet. It hopped twice, tilting its head. The monkey didn't move. The bird chirped once, softly, as though speaking into the silence. The air held a kind of waiting. The abscess on Ramu's shoulder pulsed faintly, glistening. It had grown in the last few days, sealed tight beneath the skin. Every attempt to scratch or bite it open had failed. Infection had crept through his blood, dulling his energy, dimming his eyes. The bird edged closer. It pecked once sharply, then again lighter. The monkey flinched but didn't lash out. The mina stepped back, watching. Then with careful rhythm it returned, breaking the thin skin that held the infection in. A thin line of pus began to ooze, yellow against the dark fur. The relief came slow. Ramu gave a low, guttural exhale and almost a sigh. The bird cleaned the edges with its beak, gentle, deliberate. It wasn't kindness as humans knew it. It was instinct, opportunity. The strange choreography of survival where each life brushed another's edge. Minutes passed like this, one tending, one enduring. The river moved lazily beside them. Overhead, light filtered through the canopy and fractured beams. A human voice murmured faintly from the trail beyond the trees. A forest watcher named Mira, who had been observing the langur troop for weeks. She crouched from afar, watching the moment unfold, her camera lowered, forgotten. "Easy, little one," she whispered, though the monkey couldn't hear. "Let it go." Ramu blinked slowly. The pressure eased from his wound and his trembling stilled. The bird hopped back once more, its task complete. For a brief instant, both seemed to rest, a fragile peace between air and earth. The jungle exhaled with them. The mist began to lift. Then, from deep among the trees, a call rang out, sharp, urgent, not of comfort but alarm. The forest turned its head. Something unseen had stirred. The bird took flight in a sudden rush of wings. Ramu's head lifted, eyes following it. And in that same still moment, something darker began to move through the undergrowth. The healing had come, but danger was already on its way. The call that pierced the morning air came again, sharper, closer. The forest shifted in response, every sound bending around it. The herons along the water lifted their wings and scattered. Even the insects paused. Ramu turned slowly, his good arm braced against the rock. The skin around his wound sagged where the infection had drained, but the strength had not yet returned to his limbs. He blinked into the trees, ears twitching. The bird was gone. Only a few feathers floated in the air, soft and weightless. Something moved beyond the bamboo thicket. It wasn't the usual rhythm of a deer or a boar. It was heavier, patient and quiet. Far back on the trail, Mira froze. She knew the sound, the faint crunch of dry twigs, the steady drag of a predator's tail. A leopard, perhaps one she had seen on her night camera, had come down from the ridge. The scent of blood had carried far. She whispered under her breath, "Not now. Please, not now." Ramu tried to climb the tree behind him, his fingers curling weakly around the bark, but his muscles betrayed him. He managed only a few feet before slipping back onto the rock, panting. The abscess had drained, but the fever still burned. His breath came shallow. The leopard emerged, pale gold and ghost-like in the soft light. It was young, ribs faintly showing, eyes locked on the small shape by the river. Every step was slow, deliberate. The air between them thickened. Mira crouched lower, heart hammering. She knew she couldn't interfere openly. The rules of the reserve were strict. But watching that small, Exhausted life tremble on the edge of its world felt unbearable. Ramu stared back at the predator. No sound, no movement. Just the steady meeting of two ancient instincts. Then something unexpected broke the silence, a shrill cry. Not from Mira, not from Ramu, but from above. The same myna bird had returned, circling low, calling wildly. Its wings beat in frantic bursts, sweeping close to the leopard's head. The cat twitched, ears flattening. Another bird joined in. A drongo this time, bold and black, diving with reckless speed. The air erupted with noise. The leopard hissed and ducked, tail lashing. It took a few steps back, snarling at the sudden assault from above. The monkeys from the distant troop began calling from the trees. Sharp, echoing barks of alarm. The forest had awakened to defend its own. In the chaos, Ramu managed to move inch by inch toward a low tree root near the rock. He pulled himself up, body trembling, eyes fixed on the shadow slipping backward into the trees. The leopard, frustrated, turned and melted into the undergrowth, vanishing as silently as it had come. The noise faded. The birds quieted, circling once more before settling back into the branches. Only the river's murmur filled the space again. Ramu clung to the root, exhausted, half hidden in the leaves. His eyes fluttered, not from fear now, but from the strange calm that follows survival. From a distance, Mira lowered her head, relief washing through her. "Rest, little one," she whispered. "You've done enough." In that trembling light, the bird returned to its perch above him, watching, silent again. For now, the forest had spared its wounded child, but peace in the wild never lingers long. The forest returned to its stillness, as if nothing had happened. Only the rippling river remembered. A few leaves trembled in the soft wind, and the myna remained perched on a branch above, feathers slightly ruffled, head lowered. Ramu lay beneath the tree root where he had taken shelter. His breathing was slower now, steady but heavy, as though every breath had to climb a hill. The wound on his shoulder, though drained, had darkened at the edges again. The fever that had burned inside him was not finished. Mira watched from the path, her body hidden among the ferns. She could tell he was slipping. The rescue team was far, hours away. And even if they came, the jungle's laws were older than help. All she could offer was presence. The sun rose higher, spilling golden light across the leaves. Steam lifted from the damp earth. Ramu turned his head slightly toward it, the faint warmth painting his fur in silver streaks. His fingers curled in the soil. The myna bird fluttered down again, landing beside him. It tilted its head watching, chirping once in a soft, uncertain sound. For a moment, Ramu's eyes opened, unfocused but calm. The small movement of his lips almost looked like a smile, though no sound came. Mira whispered through the hush, "You're safe now." Rest, he did. His body eased, the strain leaving his limbs. Around him, the forest carried on. Branches creaked, crickets sang, the river lapped at the stones. The bird stayed near until the breathing stopped. Then quietly, it hopped onto a higher branch, watching from above as stillness settled in full. When the rescue team arrived, they found only the peace of what had already ended. Mira knelt beside the small shape, bowing her head. She noticed the signs. The burst abscess, the cooling body, and beside him, a single dark feather caught in the grass. The jungle had taken back what it had given. She did not cry. Instead, she placed a palm on the ground, feeling the pulse of the earth beneath, steady, endless, indifferent yet full of grace. The troops' calls echoed faintly in the distance, carrying through the canopy. The world was moving on. Later that evening, as the sun fell behind the ridge, Mira walked the same path along the river. A myna bird followed from branch to branch, never close, never far. The air smelled of rain, and the river reflected the fading sky, soft orange melting into gray. Somewhere in that quiet, between the sound of wings and water, there was a sense of something understood, that even in loss, the forest remembers kindness, and as night arrived, it wrapped the land in stillness once more, a silence that felt not empty but full.